Look at all this loot! DJ, none for you! Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and I am a shameless fan of getting free stuff, especially free, new, awesome blasters, and especially when they give me an excuse to promote my friend's business. This was, of course, sent to me by the inestimable Luke from Out of Darts. He was gracious and generous enough to send this over for review, so I'm gonna get it open, get it assembled, and take it to the range and plink, and then I'm gonna talk about it. So, here we go. Blah! Right. Alright, it is assembled. Now it does come with an extra barrel and an upgraded spring, so I will probably swap those out while I'm plinking and see what kind of a difference it makes. I'll also obviously check them for the FPS when we get back, but I'm gonna go plink first because I want to plink. So here we go. Right, I'm here on the range. I've got the shorter barrel and I believe the weaker spring, and I do have a scar barrel on there because it did come with one. And I'm gonna plink. I'm gonna try to hit bottles. I don't have any optic on it. Let's see if I can plink anything. Oh Lord, almost on the first shot. There we go. Oh, I'm off. Where'd it go? I hit a pan. There it is. Two left. I'm gonna reload. Got 22 or so more shots. Let's see if I can get them both. Oh. Oh, one more. Oh, come on. I rattled him. I got him. All right. Oh, the net's falling down. That did hit the 75. There it is. Can I get the 100? I don't know where that went. I got it! Woo-hoo-hoo! Ah, on the last round too. This is lovely. This is buttery. This is fantastic. It's in my colors. I'm gonna plink some more. I got more darts and I got sunlight, so I'm gonna plink. Right, I've got the slightly longer barrel on there, but I've got the same spring in there. We're gonna see what this does for a couple of shots. Oh. There's the 75. Oh, so close. Can't tell where they're going. They're going straight, but I can't tell if I'm high or low. I was a little low. I got the 100. So, yeah. I think I'm out. Maybe. Yep. Right. Let's try the heavier spring with both barrels. So I'm gonna have to plink some more. I'm just gonna have to. That's all. There's nothing to it. Right. Now we've got the longer, heavier spring. I'm not sure if it's heavier, but it's definitely longer on the long barrel. Let's see what it does now. Ooh. Oh, ho, ho. Oh. Ha, ha, ha. 50, 70, 75, 100 with only one miss. That's pretty good. Oh, making dents. Oh, that shot came out bad. Oh, come on, 75 again. There it is, 100. Oh, a little short. I got it. Ha. Oh. Oh, a little high. just doesn't drop as much as I'm expecting. Oh, 75. That's probably the most I have ever hit the 100 with one blaster. That is lovely. I want to do one more mag. Try it with the short barrel, with the longer spring. See what happens. Mostly I just want to plink more. Plink. Plink. I don't have to justify my plinking proclivities to the likes of you. Right. Long spring, short barrel. What do we got? Oh. I forgot to chamber around. 50. 75. I don't know where it went. I think that hit. Not a good hit, though. That's a good hit on the 100. And I can hit the 25s. This thing is fabulous. Oh, too high. There we go. Lovely. All right. I've plinked enough to talk about it. Get some fips. I know you love your fips. I'll get you your fips. Right, let's get you your fips. I am going to be firing the darts it came with, which were Gen 3 workers. Let's see if we can get some results. 159, 184, 175, 155, 150. So a bit of a spread, actually. I wonder how it would work with different darts. Curious. Matt, I'm going to try it with some red worker darts. See if they get any different results. 180, 172, 167, 182, 191. So, slightly better results with the red workers, which is what I've heard. So, we'll stick with the red workers for the rest of the video, I suppose. Alright, I'm going to try the longer spring. It goes to the longer spring, that way I don't have to switch barrels back and forth quite so often. So, swap springs. Right, short barrel, long spring. Let's see what we get. 180, 188, 198, 205, 1. Oh, error. No, that would explain that. Oh, maybe I blew a head off. I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, a little bit higher, but not a whole lot higher. There was a couple that were up a bit more, but let's see how much of a difference that barrel makes. We'll switch to the short spring, long barrel. Alright, short spring, long barrel. 187, 179, 186, 142, 162. So, apparently not the ideal combination. Try the longer spring with the longer barrel. Right, final combination, long spring, long barrel. 185, 203, 149, 11. Gonna have my doubts about this operation. 197. Huh. Let's talk about it. Right, let's talk features. So, first of all, what all do you get in the box? Well, obviously, you know that it comes with a long and a short barrel, a long and a short spring. That we've gone over, but it also came with two different priming handles. You have the vertical grip, and then you have this, which is kind of like a bolt. Like, you know, for a bolt action, if you wanted to be able to fire from prone more easily. It does have rail up here if you wanted a bipod, and it does come with a magazine that's short enough to allow helicopter? Interesting. Don't get a whole lot of those flying over Vader. Now I'm curious. Gotta go look. It's in the rules. Huh. A Blackhawk just flew directly over my shop. Dubious. Dubious. Anyway, in the box, yeah. Spring, barrel, 2 different bolts, which is pretty nifty. I have all kinds of uses for that. You do get all the rail, of course. You get replacement O-rings. I don't know what the difference between the clear one and the green one is, but there's also a small replacement one. A few extra screws. What appear to be replacement catch springs. That's unusually considerate of them. It does come with the tools. Tools necessary to attach these. These use a larger Allen key. All of this, the bolts on the blaster use the little kind of brownish one that has been used for a lot of things, and it is in fact stored on the blaster. Here on the back of the buffer tube is where there is storage for your Allen key, which is pretty nifty. It also does come with a magazine, but it's this weird little 5-round Talon mag, which is interesting and odd, and I do actually have a use for a mag that short in my pew-pews for certain HVZs where the starting blasters have an ammo limit. So yeah, that's interesting. It's also instructions for everything, all fairly straightforward. Yep, there is apparently, there's spots for your sling mount. Standard worker sling mount can go right there. Worker also makes Picatinny rail sling mounts, so however you want to sling it, there's ways to do it. Yeah. Fairly nifty. Other features that I was not expecting. It does have a dogbone style pusher bolt, so you can, as you notice, put the magazine in and out without pulling the bolt back, which is a nice feature. The bolt, or the priming, then also has spring assist forward, so if you pull it back and let go, it goes forward on its own. There's a spring up in there. I don't know if that's a feature everyone's gonna want, or I mean, I'm sure it's just a matter of you could take that spring out if you didn't want it to do that. I think it's pretty nifty. It would be annoying if it didn't have the dogbone pusher, if you weren't able to take the mag in and out without the bolt back, because it'd make it very difficult to pull the bolt back and get the magazine out because the bolt would keep moving forward, but you don't have to worry about that, so I kind of like it. I think it's neat. Others may disagree. It does have a safety. If that's your thing, there is a safety. If you really wanted, you could, remove it, delete it, cut it. Blamity. Do not dry fire a blaster. It's not good. Shame on me. Yeah. Now, it is not, one feature that it doesn't have that I thought was kind of odd because we saw it in the Swift and then we don't see it here, is a way to quickly and easily swap the springs without needing any additional tools. The spring does go back into the buffer tube a bit, but the buffer tube does not have, obviously as you saw, it doesn't have a cap or any way to easily get the spring out. And I'm kind of surprised by that, given that we see that in the Dart Zone blasters. They have the quick release or quick swap spring option. So I found it odd that didn't have it. It's not terribly difficult, but you do need a tool, or at least unless they eventually come out with quick release screws or thumb screws. You take these 2 screws out, and if you had them in, you would need to take out 2 of the screws on the top rail. I just haven't put those 2 screws in because I've been swapping it back and forth so often. And then you can take the bolt and the spring out. So it's not difficult to swap the springs, but it's a little more difficult than in some other blasters. Now, how often are you really going to need to swap your springs out? Not often enough for me to consider 4 screws to be an unreasonable number of screws to have to remove. Just my opinion on that. You may feel differently, and I'm sure they will come out with thumb screws for these, and you could either not put those forward screws in there, or you could probably get a thumb screw for the Picatinny rail. I'm sure solutions will present themselves. It's what we do. But yeah, it will take standard Talon mags if you want to put longer Talon mags in. Obviously, they fit. Doesn't have an option to take full-length mags, though. This is a half-dart blaster. Come to grips with this. which really there would be no point in using this as a full-length blaster. So yeah, I love it. As you saw the performance on the range, I was able to easily reach out and hit the 20 or the 100 multiple times, 75 reliably, 50 very reliably, 25 just always. Very, very impressed that I was able to get that kind of accuracy without any kind of an optic on it. I am many things, but I have never claimed to be a marksman. I am not a particularly good shot, given that my dominant eye, my left eye, is just a complete blur. So the fact that I was able to hit as accurately as I was with this thing, with no tuning, with no optic, really, really speaks to how good this is. And the performance that we saw from the Chronograph, that was, again, untuned. That was just swapping springs and barrels. I didn't tweak the seals. I didn't do any of the other things that you can do to optimize the blaster. So those numbers are a little, take them or leave them, take from it what you will. Those were also not fresh darts. Those were used darts. So, again, meh. I didn't see a huge noticeable difference in performance between the various ones. The longer barrel with the longer spring did seem to have a little bit more power, but they were all close enough for as good as a shot as I am. People who are better shots or who more finely tune their blaster would probably be able to tell you more of what kind of a difference you're going to get to see. So. I don't know anything about the springs that came with it. They weren't marked, they weren't labeled. There's just a longer one and a shorter one. The longer one has a little bit more pre-compression. How much, they didn't feel like they were that much heavier, so it really appears to just be a matter of it's longer. So, yeah. So there it is. Love this thing, absolutely love it. The short spring and the short barrel is still, even that is a little spicy for the events that I run here at my range, though maybe we will dial it up a little. Maybe we'll go up to 175 from now on, or we'll start doing more high-end rounds in addition to our short rounds, depending on the game modes we're using. This thing is obviously meant for high-performance type stuff. It's not meant for your casual Nerf war so much. I really like it. Now, a couple of thoughts I had about comparing it to the Swift. Let me go grab a Swift off the shelf. Here's one with no optic, though it does have that rail sling mount, because this one did not... Oh, it did. It did have a spot for a sling. Anyway. Size-wise, they're very similar, but this one is more... You can swap the spring out from the back there using a tool. I think it's this tool. Yep. So if you want to swap the spring out, it's a little bit easier on the Swift. You do need a tool, but the tool is provided and is built into the blaster. It's also half dart only. Currently there are some additional parts, kits you can get. The internals that came with it, there was more plastic, whereas this one, it appears to have. The trigger feels metal. I don't know about the catch. I believe the catch is plastic, or the plunger is plastic. I've seen some stuff where people are talking about on heavier spring loads, after a few thousand shots, it was starting to wear out, which was a little bit faster than they were expecting, faster than apparently they had with other blasters. Workers' stance on this was basically, well, yeah, you put the heavier stuff in, it's going to wear out faster. That's just how it works. So, I don't know, maybe this one wasn't intended to be quite the high-end powerhouse that this one is, but I've heard people have gotten some pretty ridiculous performance out of these already. Again, that's not really my wheelhouse. High-end sniper, not my thing, not a marksman, don't play competitive, so what? But I can tell you that, I mean, I absolutely loved this thing when I first shot it, and I love this one even more. The accuracy, it is just an absolute pleasure to fire, to prime, to shoot. It's just, I dig it. I love that there are injection molded blasters of this caliber in our hobby now. So I also like that there's a lot more rail on it. This only had top rail and it wasn't even the full length, though I assume that probably is the full length. No, it would need to be shorter. Anyway, love the look, love the ergonomics, love that it uses a buffer tube. So you can put whatever stock you want on it. I would probably go with a different one. This one curves down a little bit and we're kind of having issues with it skirting off my shoulder. I probably wouldn't have the same problem with a vest. Anyway. I love it! Out of Darts has them. Link below. If you're looking for a really nice, out-of-the-box, high-performance, high-accuracy, long-range Nerf blaster, I genuinely cannot recommend the Harrier enough. In my opinion, the hype that I've heard around it was, in fact, a little toned down. This thing is fabulous. So, yeah, my thanks, absolutely my thanks to Luke at Out of Darts for sending me this. My thanks to you guys for watching. Ah! Taking paint off the targets. Focus. Paint off the targets.